What's it say? What's it say?
Hello from chilly, sunny Carrollton, Texas.
Chilly, sunny Carrollton, Texas.
Yeah, we're chilly today too.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Might need to adjust that back a little bit on YouTube. It's a little different than it is when we... Can y'all hear us? Can you hear us okay? You should be able to. I show I'm getting a signal. So I'm getting a good signal here. So I'm getting a good signal here.
Here, I gotta turn this volume
Yeah.
on.
Signal. So I'm getting a good signal here. There you go. Yeah. Deb's phone. There we go. All righty. Well, the sun's shining this morning. We're back in Northwest Arkansas for just a little while longer here, taking care of business.
Business.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we are early. Wanted to make sure everything was working correctly. So, anyway, got our coffee here. Give a shout out to Den the Cockeyed Camper. He's the one that had these coffee cups made up for us.
Yep.
And
They're used every morning, Dan.
Oh yeah, Dan, we use these every morning. What has see, I'm so used to drinking 3 cups of coffee every morning while I'm waking up. And usually before we got these giant cups, a standard cup, 3 cups of coffee would be about right for each of us with a full pot, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you get 2.
So we end up usually making another half pot.
Well, sometimes.
Sometime. So I can, psychologically get my...
So we have our
my 3
wonderful
cups of
coffee cups in the morning,
Yeah.
and we have our lovely fire pit in the evening. Thanks
Oh,
to
yeah. Thanks to Jan and Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jan and Johnny, I had in case y'all don't know this, I don't know how many's watching right now. Looks
11.
like 11. Wow. Cool. Last month, I ended up being a year older than I was before that.
That's always good, I guess.
Yeah. I'm still here. Hey. Anyway, so Jan and Johnny, they had this propane fire pit, and we always commented about how much we loved that when we got to visit with them for a while. We actually visited with them. They showed up at 2 different places we were at. They came to Twiltley Branch in Mississippi when we were there, and we had a wonderful visit with them there. And they were our neighbors. They parked in the spot right beside us. And then when we went on down to the Mississippi Gulf Coast to Shepherd State Park in Goshen, Mississippi, I'm finally pronouncing that correctly now. When we went on down there, they ended up down there too. And of course, he would always pull out his little propane fire pit, on the cool evenings. So
we had campfire envy.
Yeah, we had campfire envy. So lo and behold, they bought us one.
Yeah, wasn't that sweet?
And
so we have wonderful coffee cups, and we have a wonderful propane campfire.
Absolutely. And we're enjoying the heck out of our propane campfire. And Den, if you're on, I think I see his...
He says, did you say your cups are too small? No.
No, they're not too small.
If they were any bigger, I'd have to buy another coffee pot.
Yeah. Let me see if I can... I thought I had this adjusted real good, but... you're just barely, you have to stick your, let me see if I can pull this down a little bit and get you in there a little better.
See, I don't want to be too close.
Well, I know, but I don't want you to have to go like this.
Hello, everyone. West Virginia, 25 here in Winnipeg.
Oh, wow.
We had quite the storm last night here.
Man.
60-mile-an-hour gusts, I think it said, on AccuWeather.
Oh, yeah.
It was enough to make us wake up and say, maybe we should put on our street clothes and our shoes.
Which we did. And when these big, heavy gusts hit us, the trailer shook pretty good, didn't it?
Oh, my goodness. I do not like the wind.
And I don't know if so far we've got 3 videos out there concerning gazelle gazebos. And we really love our gazelle gazebo. We intended on doing the live feed this morning from the Gazebo, but it's still pretty windy out there this morning. We're having gusts around 24, 25. Yeah. Something, and it's cool. It's too cool.
So we're in our kitchen.
Right. But what I wanted to say was, we really, I don't want to say harp, but we really want to press upon everyone, if they get a Gazebo or the Clam or any of those, to go to a sporting goods place and get you some really, really good tent stakes and get you some really, really good tie downs.
Jason says that our old spot from last winter was pretty cold this morning.
Well, I imagine it was. It's pretty cold here too. Well, it's in the 40s, I think, now.
It's in the 40s,
yeah.
And the sun is shining. Yay! It did not shine all day yesterday, I don't think. We had someone, and we don't know this much about it, ask us to talk about solar and recommend one, and we're set up where we could go solar in a way, but we are not.
I'll tell you who you need to ask about that. If y'all remember, one of our most recent videos was about Marvin and Mary and their 8.5 by 24 trailer that they built. It's probably after this uploads, it'll be like 3 videos down. But they just recently started their own YouTube channel, and I talked to Marvin yesterday. If you remember, that's the one where they built their trailer to accommodate special needs, because Marvin has some mobility issues. He is working on that, though, and we can't stress that enough, that he is working on that. And he's really doing well. That's all we can say about that. But Marvin, he has an awesome solar system on his trailer. And anyway, they just started up their own YouTube channel, and we'll go ahead and say it right now. It's We're Trippin' RV Adventures. We're Trippin', TRIPPIN, RV Adventures. And I think they were going to try to join us this morning, and maybe they can validate what I just said. I will go in and find the link to that and post it on an upcoming video or something, but I'll make sure that I'll post it on this video once it uploads.
Yeah, we do that.
I'll do that. I'll put the link to their new channel there. But Marvin, in my opinion, would be a go-to person on any advice when it comes to solar, because his solar system is really pretty cool. I mean, he can run his air conditioner and everything off of it. I don't know how long he can before he's got to make sure his batteries, give his batteries time to recharge. But he put together a really cool system. And you might want to go back and watch that video as well that we did. But back to the Gazebo. We had the Gazelle set up last night. Now, we also have the panels that you can put on it, on the outside to block sun and things like that. But when we knew we were going to have high winds last night, we went ahead and pulled the panels off, because they tend to also increase the stress on it during really, really high winds, like we knew we were going to have last night. So we pulled the panels off so air could kind of sort of blow through the screen. I see lots of comments there. We probably need to...
They're talking about a Clam. They have the big one and how they stake it down.
Yeah.
And Jason was talking about he's looking for a solar wind.
Yeah. Well, there's... and we also did a video, but he doesn't have a YouTube channel, with Tim on his extraordinary... No, it wasn't extraordinary. What was that one? Luxurious trailer. He built an 8.5 by 24, and he has wind on his, although he didn't have the windmills installed at the time when we did the video, so we couldn't show much about that. But there's a lot of interest in wind again, and I know we follow some folks that travel full-time on sailboats, and they have wind generators on their sailboats as well. So there's a lot of... We
could have used one last night.
If we had one last night, it would have worked really good. But all I'm going to say is, with those high gusts and everything, we were a little concerned about our Clam. We don't have a Clam. We have a Gazelle.
Right.
But the Gazelle held up wonderful. You know,
Yeah.
it's there.
At one point, I thought we should go out and take it down,
Yeah.
but then my next thought was, yeah, but you can't hold it against these winds, so we'll just see what it is in the morning.
But if you get a gazelle gazebo, or even, I'm not sure what all comes with the clam. Now, the gazelle gazebo came with some tent stakes, but they're not really very efficient. And but you need to go get some good ones. Go get some good tent stakes and buy extras. They're not expensive. And on the gazelle gazebo, like we've mentioned before, there are tabs also all along the bottom where you can stake it to the ground there, in addition to hooking on to the eye bolt that is on the hubs and tying it down there. And when you do all those things, it'll withstand some pretty high winds, you know. So, and it's still there this morning, so we will be back out in it later. And we really enjoy our gazelle gazebo. Yeah.
So what have we been doing?
What have we been doing? Well, we're back here in Northwest Arkansas, taking care of business for a while.
Yeah.
For a little bit. We're going to hit the road again November the 30th.
Yes.
And start heading back south. We've already got part of our route laid out, right?
Yes.
You want to tell them where we're going? Just rough ideas.
Oh, well, first we're going, now you caught me off guard.
I'm sorry.
First, we're going from here down to
Little Rock.
close to Little Rock.
Yeah, I'm helping you a little bit there.
Thank
I'm not
you.
trying to
and
cut
then,
in.
And then from Little Rock, we're going over to Alabama.
Yeah, campground just on the other side of the state line
just
from
barely.
Mississippi, just barely into Alabama.
And then from there, we're dropping down to southern Mississippi.
Yeah, we're going to go back and finish what we wanted to see while we were there before the hurricanes kind of messed everything up for us.
Then from there, we're hoping to make it on into southern Georgia and maybe dropping down into Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be back up here
March-ish.
Middle to the end of March.
Yeah.
Here again, take care of doctors and tax season and
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yuck.
But we got our, we have our routine doctor visits that we have to do every 90 days or so just to keep them happy and to keep Humanicare happy. You know, when you go to Medicare, which we are, we went to Humanicare.
We're not plugging Humana.
No, we're not really. I mean,
It's good.
it's a good plan.
But-
The Humanicare we have is a good plan. And it's a whole lot better than standard Medicare. You know, we'll go ahead and toss that out there. And
Well,
of course,
for us,
the policies may vary from state to state, you know, so, but for us, it works great for us as far as copays are concerned and things like that. But the thing that irritates me, a tech.
yes, you did hear Georgia, Den.
Yeah, we're coming to Georgia, Den.
We're hoping.
And we're planning on wherever we end up, we're looking at the map to see how far we are from where you live so we can drop over and see you or let you know exactly where we're going to land so maybe you can come and see us.
Or meet us halfway or something.
Or both, you know, we'll play with that. Yeah. But what I don't like about Humanicare, and I'm sure it's probably the same with all the others once you hit Medicare, you know, because when you get to retirement age and you get on Medicare, all of a sudden you are treated like children again. In my opinion, you know, they call you up and they check on you and they say, you know, we could send a home health person by and do some double checks and stuff like that. Well, I see my doctor every 90 days. Well, yes, but this information they gather, they can send it to your doctor and then that will be that much more information, blah, 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 blah. And then they ask you questions like, and this is my least favorite question of all. Mr. Adkins, do you have trouble remembering to take your medication?
Explained. Okay.
Enough of that.
Someone said Blue Cross blows up their phone as well. So
Yeah.
see, it's all of them.
So it's all of them. I know.
What else have we been doing?
What else have we been doing?
Yeah.
Well, while we're here, not only are we taking care of doctor's visits, but if you all recall, we did, those that follow us closely, several months ago, we did a video about some minor repairs we were needing to do on the trailer. And of course, then my foot blew up on me. And so that all got put on the back burner for a while. And one of the repairs we needed to do is one of the drawers in one of our cabinets, the one that's underneath the bar, which we're looking, the bar is right there and the cabinet's right below.
We're sitting
right
at
there.
the bar.
We're sitting at the bar. One of the drawer guides broke because we had some fairly heavy items in
I
there,
really didn't.
and the rolling earthquake when you're
I
going
had
down
my
the road.
melamine dishes in there. Those
Yeah.
aren't
Okay.
heavy.
Anyway, so first, what we were going to do, we were going to replace all of the basic drawer guides that came with the cabinet that we bought these commercially made. We were going to replace all of them with really good heavy duty drawer guides. But then we got to thinking, and Deb really brought this up. She said, I love my Rev-A-Shelf so much, and that's the one that we have under the refrigerator in the cabinet across. Rev-A-Shelf. They sell them at Lowe's. Google it. Rev-A-Shelf. R-E-V dash. No.
They
Yeah.
hold up to 100 pounds per shelf, I
Oh
believe.
yeah, and they're a wire basket kind of thing on their own set of rollers.
Not that I put 100 pounds per shelf on it.
So we decided to take these drawers completely out and install a Rev-A-Shelf in this cabinet that's directly below, right there.
But then the issue came up of the doors.
Right.
Because you got to have a door.
You got to replace the drawer fronts with a cabinet door. Mm-hmm. Well, we can't find a matching cabinet door anywhere where they'll just sell us just a door, and I don't want to buy a whole nother cabinet just to have a door. So Deb said, if you all remember the way we did our trailer, we used a lot of in some sections of it, up towards the front, we used some 3/4 inch just in the vanity area. We use some 3/4 inch tongue and groove car siding. A lot of people call it car siding. And
that's what made my little
and then it's also what we use to make our partitions between the bed and the cabinet. Well, we decided, and on one side it has a beadboard look, and on the other side it just has a panel look. Well, we're going to expose the beadboard look, of course. So we're in the process of making doors out of those, and of course we have to, not just the new door for the new Rev-A-Shelf, but we have to have the other one match.
It's got to match, right?
So we're making two doors, and we've got the doors made. Had to glue them up, and then Deb come up with this idea, instead of cutting them square around the edges, why don't we cut them at a 30-degree angle around the edges, give it a bevel.
Say 30, I said bevel.
She said bevel.
He's the engineer, I'm the idea person,
and
right?
I was going to do a 45, but I thought that one might have been a bit much on that, so I did a 30-degree bevel on the doors. And we've been documenting all that, and we will have a little short video describing what we did. We've got the doors all glued up, got them cut down to size. Now I have to go ahead and put some strong backs across the back because they are still tongue and groove, and I want to make sure, so I'm going to put a couple of strong backs on the back of the panels.
And they have to be polyurethane.
And then they have to be sanded nice and smooth and polyurethane. And then we will install the new Rev-A-Shelf after we take these drawers the rest of the way out. And then, of course, we got to cut off the cross pieces and all that's between each drawer. But we'll have a video about that.
It's a process.
Before too long. Yeah. So that's one thing that we're doing while we're here. Another thing is there's a couple of upgrades we're doing on the van.
Yes.
While we're here. While we were on our last excursion, it developed a little bit of noise coming from the front of the motor. Anything there we need to talk about?
We're fine.
And I was monitoring it closely. I really think we've got a bearing going out in the idler pulley that keeps the tension on the serpentine belt. I think that's what's going on. But what we decided, my mechanic, he pulled out we talked about that before, I think,
yes.
But he pulled out his stethoscope and listened to the bearings on the alternator, and he thinks that they're going to start talking to us here before too long as well. So we ordered a new alternator for it, brand spanking new, and we also are upgrading from a 105 amp alternator up to a 145 amp alternator, which requires a different belt. So what I did, I got a brand new Remy alternator and a brand new belt, of course, a Gates belt for those that are particular about the brand of belts, and Gates is one of the more sought after brands. They're a little higher dollar, and a new tensioner pulley. And we're gonna go ahead and do all that, and we got that scheduled for a week from tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, for him to go in and do all that. So little things like that.
And our another challenge we had was we thought the water would be on here at the campground. Yeah. And we were forewarned by Jason And so we were expecting them to turn the water off, but a lot of the fellow campers in the park
Did not expect that.
and they weren't very happy, but we've been able to use our transfer system.
Right.
Long story short.
Yeah. This particular campground that we're at, during the regular season, they have well over 100 sites here. But during the winter season, they only have one section open for winter camping, and that begins November the 1st.
Right.
And runs through March 31st, I believe.
I think so.
It might be April 31st, can't remember,
No,
but I think
no,
it's March
open
31st.
April.
Yeah.
It's open in April.
But when they close everything down, this one section that they have left only has 8 sites. So we were very fortunate, and what we like about this one, we're fairly close to everything we need to do in Rogers, Arkansas, because that's where all of our stuff is that we need to do while we're here.
Right.
So it works nice for that. And we had planned on having the water on while we were here, and of course what they do now is they turn the water off during the winter, because the standpipes they have out here are not protected. And of course, folks coming in, they'll hook up to the city water, and they won't think about, well, if it's going to freeze tonight, they won't think about unhooking the water and closing off the standpipe to keep it from freezing overnight. So just to be on the safe side, they've turned off the water for here.
But like I said, we were prepared.
Yeah.
Thanks to Jason, and our transfer system works great.
Yeah.
In fact, a neighbor yesterday asked us if we'd top off their tank.
Yeah. So we ended up, I was sitting out in the van working on, actually I was working on the thumbnail for this live feed. And he says, what would you charge me to go ahead and top off my tank? Because he was watching us do ours, while we've been here. And I said, nothing. So, but I made sure they understood that I couldn't be, we keep the tank clean. We're very, very picky about keeping the tank clean.
We use it, but,
Yeah. And we're very picky about making sure the hose is clean when we stick it up to fill the water fill and all that stuff. We're very picky about that. But I just, was very, there you are.
There she is.
I just made sure they understood that, I couldn't be responsible if...
She's not happy this morning.
No, she's not happy. She wants to go outside, and it's windy and cold, and she'll go outside for a little bit, and then she'll come back up on the steps and say, I want to come back in.
She says that, huh?
And then, she talks to, well, we know what she's saying. We understand her language. But then it's weird. She's in the house for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, she starts thinking, hey, it's warm now out there, so I want to go back out.
I want to go back out.
So she starts crying to go back out. So, anyway. What else? Yeah.
What else are we doing? We're taking time to go through a few things to purge.
Yeah.
And to try to make a little more room in the van, because Bill's wanting to get a chop saw.
I want to have a small chop saw to carry with me. Doing this, I had to borrow a friend's tools, and
that's not in his nature.
That's a pain in my behind. Yeah. So I'm wanting to make room so I can carry a small table saw with me and a small chop saw.
So I had 2 cases in the van of off-season clothes, and we have these big black containers we got at Home Depot. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, we got, I've never tried these, and some of you may have, but I got these, and I was able to empty basically both containers into 3 bags, which now fit very nicely under the bed, and still leaves room for Delilah to have her hiding place when she gets mad at us. She goes under the bed.
Yeah. She has a hidey hole under there.
So these are pretty awesome. At first I thought, oh, they don't work. But then I discovered, yeah, you shut the zipper, but then if you go along and you crimp it with your fingers and hear it pop, 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 then it works really well. Anyway, I like this.
Cool.
Yes, it's the hose suction.
Yep.
Yeah, I used a hose and had to learn how to pack it correctly, because I was just kind of shoving stuff in. And if you lay it in there nicely, it sucks it down nicely. But I emptied 2 containers.
Yeah, so now it's on me.
He's got to empty 2 if he wants to.
That will be difficult to empty 2.
Yeah, I know, because you can't shrink your stuff.
I can't shrink my tools and stuff like that, but we're going to give it a shot. How many's on there now?
47.
Wow, Cool.
And but we're using the time to do all these things since we're in between appointments and this and that and the other, and we're anxious to hit the road again.
We're ready today. If we could hook on and pull out today, we would, because we're this being able to go and see different places and do different things has really spoiled us, and we don't like sitting here so long, especially in some place that we're familiar with. I mean, nothing's new here. That's why we haven't done any videos about where we are, because we've been there, done that. So that's one reason why you haven't seen anything come up here recently.
No, we don't take care of Blackwater. Sorry, people. They were talking about our water transfer system.
Oh, no, we don't handle Blackwater. No. We have a...
Thank you. Yes, we have 11,160
something, I think.
This morning.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
We're just...
And we enjoyed the music last week, and
well, we're going to try to do one more while we're here, because our internet is absolutely fabulous here. What do y'all think? You want maybe another music presentation before we leave this spot? I haven't seen anybody jump on and say, yeah, let's do that. I haven't seen anybody yet.
Dan said 11,000 subscribers. Isn't that another music? So, probably.
Well, I know Den is always ready for me to play music, and I'll probably be expected to do that when we get to see him in person too, which just breaks my heart. But I'll be more than happy to do that. Anyway, what else?
Can't think of much else. We're just enjoying life and trying to stay relaxed, and on nice days, of course, we're outside as much as possible.
There's all kinds of comments popping up there, and you don't let me get up there and read them.
Well, it's yes, music, go for it.
Oh, well,
things I can tell you later.
No, I want to know now.
Well, don't be so nosy.
Oh, shoot. Anyway, no, we thought we'd try that again, do a music thing one more time, and I'll try to let you know as far in advance as possible when we figure what the best time is.
No kayaking. It's getting down in the 40s at night, so the water, even when it gets up to the 70s during the day, the water just doesn't invite me to go kayaking.
Not right now, and we've kayaked here.
Yeah.
When we get back down south, we're hoping that we can put the kayaks back in the water. So that's one of our plans.
If you could start over, what size trailer would you get?
8.5 by 20.
We have been talking about that, mainly because Bill needs a place that he can have a practice studio area. So if we had a 4-foot bigger trailer, number one, I could have a walk around bed, which...
Right.
Number two...
And that would calm a lot of people down that's been really upset over our bed. Although it's
not been an issue, but...
we spent over 500 days in this, folks, since we started full time. And the bed has not been an issue. I don't know how many times I can say that.
8.5 by 20 on high axles?
Yes. On straight axles. I will never, ever, ever, if I ever do another trailer again, I will never, ever, ever get 4-inch drop axles. Period. I will get straight axles.
Because of our drainage system.
Because, everybody's going to have to drain their gray water.
Right.
No matter,
No, I know this.
Especially if you build a bigger one to actually live in. If you actually build one that we like to refer to as a tiny house rather than a weekend camper, you've got to come up with a way to deal with your gray water. And when your trailer sets so low to the ground, it's really hard to make it drain properly, especially when you park on some spots that are like this or like this, depending on which end of the trailer you've got your sewer dump coming out. So,
hi Felicity, congratulations on your numbers. You're doing awesome.
You guys are absolutely taking off like crazy, and Delilah's trying to get attention over here, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was trying to use your camera bag as a scratch pole. That gets attention.
Yep, that got our attention.
Yes, it did.
Thank you for catching her
You're
doing that.
You're welcome.
You're kind of picky about my
Okay,
gear.
what else? How much would that size weigh? I am in a new Ranger with a 7K towing.
Well, you could probably. I know Marvin and Mary's. They have an 8.5 by 24, and he indicated to me that his in travel mode weighs right at 7,000 pounds. Okay, I think ours would end up being a tad lighter than that. But let's talk about tow ratings for a minute. Let's talk about that for a little bit. A lot of folks feel, and this is a lot of my personal opinion on this, but it's also things that I've learned from researching other people and from personal experience. Our van is rated to tow like 9,000 pounds, and I don't know that I'd want to hook 9,000 pounds onto it just because it's rated to tow that. But see, there's other things that come into play there. You've also got to figure there's what you call your tow rating, and then there's also gross vehicle weight rating, which includes what you're towing plus, and may not be using the right terminology here for everything, so don't hold me to this, but there's also another rating that includes the total weight of everything between the tow rig and the trailer you're pulling. So in other words, it's very possible if your trailer is weighing less than your tow rating on your rig, if you're carrying a certain amount of stuff in your rig, which you will, it's very possible that you could still be overweight based on the overall weight rating of the whole thing. So you need to research that and make sure you're not beyond that. So it's not just because your rig is rated to tow X amount. Also, also depends on how much you're going to be carrying in your tow rig itself. So, do some research on that. A good place to go would be maybe go to etrailer.com, because they have probably a lot of good videos about that. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there that cover those subjects. So be sure and do some. I'm not going to come across as the authority on this. We estimate that our trailer weighs around 5,000 pounds or so, and we do intend to get weighed as we leave here when we pull out the end of this month. But here again, even though our weight rating is what it is, I'm not sure that I'd want to hook that much onto it.
Some people are agreeing with you.
There you go. So never
plus fuel and
fuel and
cargo.
My van,
my weight.
Yeah.
Bill's weight.
And let's don't talk about my weight.
No, we won't.
But my van empty weighs 5,200 pounds. My van. Okay. That was when I had it weighed one time with nothing in it whatsoever, nothing in the cargo area, nothing. Well, then I went in and built the system in it where I have a double floor system. And so the weight of that itself, the framework for all of that, added probably 300 pounds or more to it. Then when you consider all the stuff that we carry inside, that we feel necessary for traveling down the road, I've probably easily added another 1,000 pounds to my van or more. I wouldn't surprise me if I've added 1,500 pounds to the weight of my van. So those things add up before you know it. And that's all I'm trying to say here is, don't always go strictly by just what the tow rating of your vehicle is. There's a lot more numbers that come into play.
Right.
There.
Water weighs 8.34 pounds per gallon, and we don't carry water. About 10 gallons in the tank in the van.
Yeah.
Freshwater tank.
And that's about when we're going down the road.
Right. In the trailer,
we drain it all the way down.
Yeah, we don't really carry water.
Travel with water in the trailer.
Because of just what you're saying, that's a lot of weight. And where we go 9 times out of 10, they have water at the site or readily available where we can take care of that.
The neat thing about our system with our transfer system, and it just really worked out this way. One time we pulled into a campground that did not have water at the site, but we were when we wanted to go and fill our tank, the one hydrant available for filling our tank before we set up our trailer was occupied, and it was a pretty large unit, so we figured that they were going to be there for a while. So what made it nice about our setup was we could go ahead and set up our trailer. So we did. We went ahead and set up the trailer. Then we drove the van back over once the water became available, and filled up our tank in our van, and then drove back and transferred it over, which took 30 minutes to do
Right.
that. So, and it's just really nice, to do that. Now you can if you decided you wanted to do something like that, if you were staying at campgrounds that do not have water at the site. However, I will interject this in right quick. Once we leave here, so far every reservation we have has water at the site.
So far.
We're finding as we travel towards the south and east part of the country at Corps of Engineer campgrounds, many of them have water at the site, whereas up here in this area in northwest Arkansas,
Not
they
so
don't
much.
they don't have it. There's
Not so
there's
much.
only select campgrounds that have water at the site. So it's kind of strange how that works out. But anyway, but it was nice to have that transfer system.
Right.
And you can set up a cheaper one. You go to Tractor Supply and buy a 35-gallon tank for $100, and go to Harbor Freight and buy a 12-volt transfer pump for under 50, and you're set up ready to go to do a transfer system.
I've been working on a painting. This is one I've been kind of working on. It's not quite done. But I have been working on it.
It's for sale.
Well, yeah, all my paintings.
All of your paintings are for sale.
Seems like lately I just have not been in the mood. You got to be in the mood to paint. Good morning from Georgia. Good morning from Prairie Grove.
Hey, I know where that's at.
Yeah. And here again, if we had a slightly bigger trailer, I would have an art area instead of setting up everything on the board,
Right.
which is what I do now. But these are just thoughts. It's nothing that we have made any big decisions on yet. We're just kicking it around.
We are in
Kicking the tires.
in the consideration stage on the logistics of building another one. Of course,
We're full time, so
yeah.
where would we park?
We'd
when
have
we're
to find a
building?
place to set up to build it and everything. And I will say this: I won't even look any other place but Rock Solid Trailers. If we have another one, this trailer we're in was built by Rock Solid in Douglas, Georgia.
Been more than pleased.
And we've been more than pleased. And I will say this again, too, because I know some folks got some trailers at Rock Solid because of our recommendations, and they had a few minor issues. But the issues that they had, many of them, were issues that we talked about in some of our videos during the construction stage of our trailer. One, and I will say this till the day I die, and I will always believe this, cargo trailers are built not to live in or camp in. They are built to haul cargo. So cargo trailers will require some preparation on our part to make them suitable to set up to camp or live in. And the first and foremost thing is, if you have a trailer that has the screwed on skin on the outside, they're going to eventually leak at the seams where they overlap. If they don't leak now, they will. It's going to happen. They're going to start leaking at the seams where they overlap.
So we had a video about
Right.
fixing water leaks, and when we first got the trailer,
Yeah.
which
The
took
video
us a
was,
while.
yeah, and it took us a while to figure out what worked best. And what we finally found that worked best, because what we did when we got the trailer, the first thing we did when we pulled all the interior skin out of the trailer,
All that plywood.
right,
there.
all the interior plywood out, then we would run around it with a garden hose, spraying water on it, and one of us would be inside watching for leaks around the trailer. And we found leaks at almost every seam where the skin on the outside overlaps. They don't use a gasket material there. They overlap them and they screw them together. So what we finally found that worked the best, which we talked about in our video, it's simply called water leaks, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, go
Cargo
back and find it.
conversion Water leaks.
Yeah, water leaks. And a friend of mine recommended this product called Lexel. And a lot of people would think that is a silicone, and they'll say, oh no, don't use silicone. Well, Lexel is not silicone. It's an elastomer sealer. And it's around $9 a tube that works in a caulking gun. And you can buy it in a smaller tube as well. What are you doing, babe?
Shutting
No,
that
shutting that
window.
window.
It's getting chilly.
Cool. But what we did, I would take a wooden shim, and I would loosen the screws on the outside a few at a time, not all of them, just a few at a time. Then I'd slide the wooden shim in between to hold the skin apart a little bit. And then I would squirt some of that Lexel elastomer in there and then screw those screws back down. Then I'd move up and do another section, the same way, and then screw them back down. So after doing that, the leaks went away completely. Now, the thing about Lexel, let's see, was it mineral spirits will clean it.
On a rag.
On a rag, yeah, to clean it, because you will get some residue that oozes out. But since it dries clear, we found it best just to
let it beat out.
Let it beat out and forget it, because it doesn't really show. Walk away. Because if you try to clean it, if you got proper cleaners, it's just going to smear and you'll never get it off. But once it dries and dries clear, it picks up it reflects the color of the trailer itself, so it's not like it doesn't really show. But I would rather have that than have to deal with water leaks destroying everything on the inside of my trailer eventually down the road.
Knock on wood.
We have no leaks.
We have been through some major
Yes.
rains
wow.
and winds. And the guy climbing up on our roof last summer when our air conditioner,
Yeah.
that made us nervous. It's like, okay, dude, you're walking around on my roof. So far, we have not had any leaks.
And
inside.
we are always looking to make sure, because if we do have one pop up, we want to catch it.
Right.
On the onset. So
absolutely.
But we haven't had any leaks. But
that we're aware of. So
so
far so good.
Cargo trailers are not going to be perfect. If you're one of these that think that you should be able to buy a cargo trailer and just simply build your interior and never have to do anything else, then don't go buy a cargo trailer and don't do it. Just go buy a commercially available RV and go on.
Well, they leak.
And they leak. They're going to leak. They'll start leaking within 5 years if you maintain them properly.
So, it's just an issue.
Yeah.
It's not like I guess even cars leak eventually.
It's
not like
we got a couple small leaks in the van.
Yeah, that's true.
Around some weather.
Someone said that going a 24 only was 400 pounds more.
Uh-huh.
But that's just the weight of the trailer. That's not what I would put in it.
Well, yeah, right. That's just the weight of the trailer, and it's not what you put in. And another thing too,
wouldn't that be awesome though?
Because we travel, let's talk about that for a minute. Yeah. We travel at places.
You got to be careful the size.
Right.
I know that.
There's going to be times when and we talked about this when we did a video on things you need to know when camping with the Corps. And 99.99% of everywhere we go to a Corps of Engineer campground.
You do this on outside or inside? He did it on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, you loosen
the Lexel, I'm assuming you're talking about.
With the Lexel, yeah. With the Lexel, you loosen the screws on the outside everywhere where you have a joint. Don't take them all the way out. Just loosen them some. And then take a wood shim, slide in there to hold them apart just a little bit, and don't, and then just on the end of your tube of Lexel, cut a very small opening so you can kind of stick it in there and you'll have to practice, and you'll figure out exactly how much you need to apply in there, and then work your way up and down each seam by doing that. Start at the bottom, work your way to the top, start at the top, work your way down to the bottom. And another thing too, we'll talk about we
went into detail on that one video.
We did, but the screw bit that you will need is a number 2 square bit.
Well, the one we had to anyway.
Well, right. They have those screws they use on those have like 8 points, and a lot of people think, I forgot the other name of that other kind of screw bit, but anyway, it's not that. It's not a star. It's a different kind of bit. Different kind of screw, but it has 8 points, and I think a star has 6. The one bit that works in that is a number 2 square bit, and that's what works in that, because it has 8 points rather than 6 like a star bit does. So at least all the ones I've ever seen, that's the kind of screws they used on the outside, was that. So that's what you need to get. But
they call them triple squares.
There you go.
A Torx bit? ?
No, Torx is like a star. Torx is not the one. Torx is 6 points. And now if you can find a what he called a double square bit, then that would be better. But a square bit works on it. Number 2 square bit works on them. Just make sure when you use it, make sure you've got it.
I think you used the
good
one out
into
of
the
our
socket.
Craig joiner, right?
Yeah, our Craig joiner came with a number 2 square bit on it. The Craig joiner that we have.
Right.
And that's how I discovered that it worked. It was, I thought, well, I'll try this and see what.
Let's see what this one does.
And then when you go in and look at different forums, that's what everybody says. You still have some come in there and say, you can use a Torx bit, number such and such, and things like that. But I really doubt if they've ever tried, because a Torx has 6 points and this has 8.
A number 2 Robertson square.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, yeah. You can get them at any Lowe's, Home Depot, True Value Hardware.
Right.
They're there everywhere.
We're 50 feet long with a 24-foot trailer in the rig, and they find that there's some places they don't fit.
Exactly.
Right.
Then that's the whole thing about the longer trailer you go with. There's going to be a time, and let's get back on that subject a little bit while we're here. There's when we talked about this, we did a video, things you need to know about camping with the Corps, and we love the Corps of Engineer Campgrounds.
Yes.
I cannot stress that enough. We absolutely love Corps of Engineer Campgrounds.
They're usually clean, well kept. They usually have water and or electric at the site.
And you're not 5 feet from your neighbor.
And you're not right up against your neighbor. You have room to breathe, as I put it.
The price is right.
And the price is right.
We stayed at a couple that we were less impressed with, and we did a video here a while back, a rather frank video about one that we came away really underwhelmed. But here's the thing. What we found, and we found this here when we were park attendants here. Whoever measures the length of these sites and then posts the length of that
Sometimes
site
they don't know how to use it
on the website, don't know how to read a tape measure, some of them, because you cannot go by what it says. So
they like to use that electronic.
Yeah, they use the electronic thing.
And if it's working great, that's awesome. But if it's not working great.
Exactly. So the point that we're trying to make here is always when you go in on the website to reserve a spot at a Corps of Engineer campground, always embellish the size of your rig in the filter section. Because it'll ask how big your rig is. Well, our rig is like 24 foot to the tongue, from the back to the tongue, roughly. And if we put that in there, we're going to be trying to park it in sites where we won't fit sometimes, and we've had that happen. So what Deb does, and she's the one that handles all the reservations, she always goes in and embellishes the size of our rig. She calls it 40 feet. And there's a much better chance that we're going to have a much more usable site.
Right.
Because of that. Now, when you get to where you have a longer and longer trailer, and we've seen this happen. Now here, where we are at this campground, these sites here are all nice and deep and long. You can put just about anything you want to in any of these here.
Except for 79.
Except for number 79. Yeah. But see, when you go into the website and see site 79, it'll tell you that it'll accommodate a 50-foot rig, I think. I don't know for sure, but something like that. And that's the whole point that we're trying to make.
That's where we were parked on our very first night, where we did a video about baptized by snow.
Yeah. I'm baptized by fire, I mean snow.
That's where we were parked. We stayed there 2 nights before we moved.
Yeah,
maybe it was just one night. I don't remember.
It was 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
It wasn't very long.
It's been. I've slept several times since then.
But
I've slept over 500.
But that is another beauty of this lifestyle. If you don't like where you are, search out, reserve, move.
But the longer you get your rig,
yes.
And if you stay at places like we want to stay, you're going to come across those times when it's going to be more difficult to get set up because of that. So we don't want to go too big. Another thing we've discovered with our particular trailer, because we have a side door at the front, of course, and then we also have a door on the very back. We eliminated the ramp or the and the barn doors both, and we put a regular RV door at the very back. We enter the kitchen, the galley area from the back. We have found that sometimes that's a hindrance, because when we're pulling into the site, we have to stop 2 or 3 feet short of the back of the pad to allow room for us to walk in and out of the back of the trailer.
Right.
Right. So there, we have an issue there. So
and sometimes that makes that back step
right,
funky.
Depends on, because sometimes the sides, they may have the sides fairly level, but the terrain on either side will be dropping off like this, and at the back it'll be dropping off like this. And if we were to back our trailer all the way up because we needed all the space possible, then all of a sudden we're going to have a heck of a time trying to get in and out of our back door at the very back.
Right. Another thing with the big trailer is it does have more effect on your tow rig as far as pushing it around.
That's right. That's right.
It was another tip that
exactly.
came on.
Yeah.
And we are not, some of our friends that have cargo trailers that travel and do this and that and the other, they have little ones like 12 foot, 14 foot. They stop on a dime to look at something. And the bigger your rig is, the harder that is to do that.
Yeah.
We tend to go where we're going, set up, and then have the van to go travel around.
Go do our sightseeing and stuff like that. But if we see something on the way, we may or may not be able to pull over and look at it because we got to have a place to park.
Right. So that's another thing for you to think about is how are you planning on traveling? What are you planning on doing as far as the length of your trailer?
And how are you going to use your rig? Are you going to actually set up full-time housekeeping in it, or are you going to go on weekend excursions, the occasional 2-week excursion? There's so many things to consider. We did have a question posed to us a while back. What size trailer should I get for camping? Well, that's kind of a loaded question, and I have yet to answer that question because there's really no good answer. It all depends on what you intend to use it for, and then that's in a nutshell. What you intend to use it for, and your particular needs. And everyone's needs, as we have stressed so many times, are different from one person to the next.
Different as to what they're wanting to use it for, how they're wanting to live. That's the uniqueness of this build thing,
absolutely.
Of the cargo conversion. You can just kind of, do your own thing.
So if we do build an 8.5 by 20, of course, there's a lot of things that have to come into play. For one thing is funds.
Oh, that.
Yeah, the money thing.
That always rears its ugly
and then, of
head.
course, we'd have to have a place to build it. Now, if we will go to Rock Solid to get our trailer. We'll probably have to go through a local broker there in Douglas, Georgia. But we would also like to build it near where we got it. I don't want to have to bring it all the way back here to Northwest Arkansas. And if we did that, we would try to move as quickly as we could and get the shell of the trailer built as quickly as we could so we could start building it during the winter months. And what better place to build a trailer during the winter months would be than the southeast part of the country. So we've got to find a place where the logistics would work out. We've got to find a place where we could park the trailer while we were building it. And we've also got to be able to park this trailer on that same spot to live in while we're building the other trailer.
So there's a lot of things to consider.
So there's a lot of things we got to think about. And if we can make it work, we will make it work. If not, we will continue with the one that we have.
Because are we happy in what we got?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're comfortable. We're happy. It's just like when you build a house, sticks and brick.
Yep.
And
the layout will be similar to what we have in this one. We will swap it in for in. The bathroom will be at the back by being an 8.5 by 20. Then we'll be able to have a 36 by 48 inch shower pan at the back. Then the bed will be running crosswise, but we will still have room to have walk around all the way around it because now we're in an 8.5 wide instead of a 7 wide. So we'll be able to go all the way around the bed.
That's how he tempts me every time I make the bed. He says, you know.
And then the kitchen will be in the front. And what we will do is try to compress as much stuff as we can towards the back to make the front area where the kitchen is and dining area and stuff like that as large as possible to accommodate a nice desk work area for me with my music, for film editing, or to have a couch in that spot, or to have a combination of both somehow if I can figure out a way to make something like that. But, I'm pretty sharp when it comes to that kind of stuff, so we'll see what happens. Especially when she puts a lot of pressure on me to figure stuff out.
And like we said, this is all thinking stage.
It's all in a thinking stage. We will still eliminate the ramp in the back, no ramp in the back, no doors in the back, period. We will have 2 side doors. We will have a side door
because of just what we talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Certain areas.
Exactly.
The back step it could be an issue.
We will have a side door at the front near the kitchen, and we'll have a side door that enters into the bath area at the back.
More as an egress door.
And it'll double as an egress door as well. So we got
Right.
you got to have 2 points of egress.
Right.
It's just common sense to have that. So, and we will have no partitions. We will have a curtain that pulls around the shower and the potty
For privacy
area.
curtain.
Yeah, for privacy. But hey, it's us. It's
well,
us.
it's basically that gives you more of an open feeling.
Yeah.
Gives you feeling of more room.
Right.
That's like having a great room in a house where you have everything open, and that's the concept.
And then there's the weight thing too. A wall adds weight.
See, I don't think about that part.
Yeah, well, I do. And the bed will still be real close to the axle center line, and the freshwater tank will still be under the bed over the axle center line. We've been laying out some preliminary plans. So anyway, that's our basic idea there. And we'll just see what happens if we can put it all together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Excellent points.
Does Den keep commenting?
Yes, he does.
Okay, fine.
Den, we might want to talk to you about that. Perhaps.
We love you, Dan. We love everybody.
Yeah, we really, really, really
We do.
appreciate all of you coming on this morning.
Yes.
And we are pursuing different things to make our home, just as you would in any home, a little bit better. And we've got some wonderful ideas, and we're looking forward to getting back on the road.
Oh, man. This driving me nuts.
And we are planning on doing another music feed if the weather cooperates, because he has to,
No, I can do it inside. I'm going to, if
Okay.
we have to, we'll do another music deal, whether I do it inside the trailer or outside. So it will be done. It may be just me and my guitar.
maybe we need to go ahead and think about when we're going to do that.
Well, I can't.
Running out of time.
We got 2 weeks. I can't make a decision right this moment.
No, I know that.
But we will post it. What we'll do is, a lot of you probably saw when I posted the preliminary thing, with the thumbnail, with the scheduled live feed this morning. We will post something like that again. Just learned how to do that and how to schedule it. I'm still learning all this stuff, folks, so bear with me. I mean, I'm having fun learning it, but still learning. But anyway, anything else?
No.
No, that you can think of?
No, not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Anyway, it looks like the wind might have settled down.
Well, good, because we have doors
Well,
to
it's still
sand.
blowing a little bit. Yeah, we got doors to sand and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to go get propane for our fire pit.
Yes, we did get
Yeah.
the wind last night. It was not fun. I think it blew clear up. It woke me up again about 1:30. It was supposed to be over at midnight. I do not like wind.
The trailer shook pretty good.
I mean, it never felt like it was going to go anywhere.
No.
But I just don't like wind in I never did, but in our tiny home, I don't like it at all.
Well, we're going to go down.
Yes.
You lost your feed.
We immediately got a email from YouTube, so Bill went ahead and took it down.
Oh,
Music.
yeah. On the live music feed
Yeah.
last time. Yeah. So I probably have to take those down shortly after. If all my songs were original songs of my own, that'd be a different story, but it's not. So
Y'all would get tired of hearing the same 4 or 5 songs over and over.
yeah,
and over.
I've only got like 5 or 6 songs I've written myself, and so yeah, that would last 20 minutes, then I'd have to shut
20
it down.
to 25.
Yeah.
If you talked, we could
If
go
I talked
30.
in between, we could go 30. So no, and I don't intend to go on live playing music and just do it for 30 minutes and say, okay, that's it, bye. Ain't gonna do that.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Anything else?
I think that's about it. We've been
How long
on
have we
here
been
almost an hour, 58
Really?
minutes.
Well, we'll chat just a tad longer here, and then we'll go ahead and. I'm having fun. This is the most interesting thing I've done almost since we've been here, because all the other stuff is boring. Yeah,
we
it's
hope you all
yuck stuff.
have a very safe good Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
We are going to kind of still stay with ourselves over Thanksgiving this year out of necessity, and but we are hoping that you all have a really good Thanksgiving and stay safe.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, what?
I just keep getting people commenting, and I'm trying to read them.
About what? She's reading and seeing what we need to.
We've had some offers as far as staying at someone's place.
Oh,
So,
well, I'll tell you what, it'd be best because sometimes it takes a while for this stuff to show up, and sometimes we don't see all these feeds afterwards once it uploads. Our email address is iridetinyhouse@gmail.com.
yes, when he did it on Facebook, he could leave his music up longer, or actually.
Well, actually, Facebook has clamped down harder than YouTube now.
Okay, never mind.
Right, we can't do it on Facebook anymore. They will shut us down during. Facebook has really come down hard on that because of the situation we have right now, and all of the working musicians out there. They all went to doing live feeds on their Facebook pages, and there were a lot of course, it's it's fully understandable.
Right.
What happened because the people that wrote these songs, that's their livelihood as well. So Facebook decided to shut everything down. So if we start doing a music live feed on Facebook, it could be shut down shortly after we get started. So I'm not doing it there. And anyway, and when I get to where my other channel, my regular music channel, qualifies for me to go live on that, which it is not there, we may start doing music live feeds over there and just take it from there. But we'll go ahead and do one more on this channel before we leave this, and we're leaving here 2 weeks from Monday, tomorrow. 2 weeks from tomorrow is when we're leaving. So within the next 2 weeks, we will do another music live feed and see how it goes on this channel right here. And but we'll probably have to take it down immediately after we get done. So if you want to be there for the music, try to be there when we do it live, and then we'll just see what happens. Now, as far as the other thing we were talking about, if you want to email us about the other thing we were talking about on possibly building a trailer, our email address is all one word: iridetinyhouse, iridetinyhouse@gmail.com. iridetinyhouse@gmail.com. Some of you already have that email address, and because we've been corresponding with some of you folks.
Yes, yes, and we enjoy that.
And we really do. We really do. Sometimes it takes us a while to respond to some folks because, we keep thinking we don't have that much to do, and then we get up of a morning and say,
"We're tripping. You're still in Colorado? I thought you had come to a warmer climate. Guess I misunderstood."
Yeah, we're tripping. Post the name of your YouTube channel up there right quick so people can see it, because we were talking about solar earlier. I don't know if you were there or not, but
yes,
I recommended that. Huh?
He was.
He was? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know he did that. Well, I can't. You don't allow me to get close up to the phone.
Well, you should be able to read it from the distance.
So, and I thought I trimmed everything up real good and everything this morning, but she says I'm scary when I get close to the phone, so I'm going to stay back here. By the way, I'm all healed up from my bike wreck. Pain's gone here. I can now, and no, I don't have it, but I can cough or sneeze due to allergies, and it doesn't hurt.
So far, so good.
I can roll over in bed without being in pain from rolling over in bed from my bike wreck. And yes, I'm back on my bike. So, there you go.
Yes.
Anything else? We're going to go ahead and shut her down here shortly.
All right.
What do you think?
I think so.
But is there anything else we need to address before we go?
No.
You're sure?
Yes.
Well, I sure don't want to leave someone hanging on something that they thought was real important.
No. They're in Colorado till after Thanksgiving.
Okay. I hope the roads are clear so you can make it on the way back.
You're judging everything on where
I know.
spend.
I think Now, I think Marvin's truck is 4-wheel drive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Marvin? Isn't your truck 4-wheel drive? I think it is.
Plus, they
You're
keep the
totally-
highways better out there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we keep thinking about Northwest Arkansas. I think they have.
Goodbye, Iowa. Thanks for joining us
Goodbye.
today.
I think Northwest Arkansas has 2 snow plows for the whole northwest part of the. That's always a sore subject when they have major weather here, which we don't have that much, fortunately.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
We really appreciate y'all joining
Yeah.
us today, and we will make notice of when Bill's going to do the live feed on music. And thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And we will see you all again real soon.
What you gonna make me for breakfast?
Probably bacon and eggs and something.
All protein, which is good.
Well, pancakes or biscuits.
Biscuits. We'll do
Biscuits.
biscuits. 'Cause you made me pancakes yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Well, I know it's breakfast, but this way, see, he only gets 2 meals a day.
Yeah, we only eat 2 meals a day for those that,
This way,
Yeah.
he's eating a late breakfast, so we don't have to worry about it again until supper time.
right. And I'm able to go the rest of the day, and I'm trying to really cut back because some folks expressed some concern. And I appreciate that. I really, really do. But some folks expressed some concern, because they want me to be here 20 years from now. And I have all the plans in the world of being here.
Yes.
But
in fact, today was our daughter's birthday, and I told
Yeah.
her that
She's 39 and holding.
she's 39 and holding.
And I start thinking, no, wait a minute. She's 40. And then I got in trouble for saying
Yep.
that. So anyway, better not say that. Anyway, y'all take care. We love you all. And we will see you again. We'll let you know when we're going to do a music live feed. And we'll try to get the video up on the door thing that we're doing, here shortly. It's not going to interest everybody, but we'll see, And I don't know what else to say, except we're not camping.
We're living.
Yeah. See you again soon. Bye-bye now.